Mr. Puentes, Senior Fellow at the Metropolitan Policy Program from the Brookings Institution. What are the policy implications of what we're learning today on long-run trends in travel demand?
There's a tremendous amount of policy implications, particularly for the U.S., because what we're seeing now in terms of long-term trends are nothing short of historic. We have not seen sustained drops in driving like this. We've not seen sustained drops of driving like this in generations in the United States. So there's something fundamentally different that's happening here. We think it's a result of a lot of different things. There are some structural things that are certainly a part of this. Long-term demographic changes that may have been the case a few years ago. Women entering the workforce, civil rights, all of these things have kind of played themselves out. So there's definitely some structural changes that are part of this. There's clearly some economic reasons that are part of this. We're going through still the Great Recession, still very deeply felt in the United States, particularly for younger folks. So if they're not working, they're probably not driving as much. And so there's probably a lot of this that's economic as well. The cultural changes we think are certainly a part of this. We're not exactly sure what those details are, but we know with increases in telecommunications technology, preferential treatments for where folks are living, more of a desire for living in urban housing, for example, all those things are having a big role. And they have tremendous impacts then on the policy conversation, because we still have planning that's happening on the state and metropolitan level in particular that's based on assumptions of ever-increasing driving. So we're still projecting for more driving, we're still building much more, or still planning to build more roads, working with the private sector for things like toll roads and things like that. So we have to reorient the policies that are probably reflecting a different reality than we're facing right now. Related to that is we've got to figure out different ways to fund our transportation system, because it's really based on the gasoline tax. If folks are driving much less, they're not paying as much in the gasoline tax. We're driving more fuel-efficient cars. So there's going to be a sustained challenge when it comes to finding the revenues to pay for not just the highway program, but the transit and everything else as well. So there's a big piece around funding and finance, and then how those monies are distributed. Right now, particularly on the federal level, we send a lot of money out to the states and metropolitan areas based on the amount of driving and the amount of roadway network that's there. If that's not really the reality anymore, if that's more of a situation for prior generations, we've got to figure out a more fair way to distribute those monies back to the states and metropolitan.
Okay. Mr. Puentes, thank you very much.
Thank you.